Hey, what's going on? It's me, Greg Marshall, the owner of Fiture Marketing. I'm with my VP of Growth, AJ Lewis, and today we're going to be interviewing North in Maine. North in Maine, we're going to do a strategy session with him. He's got a business that is doing well, and we want to be able to share this information to be able to help anyone else that would like to build and grow their businesses and have a strong marketing plan. So, Tyler, why don't you tell us what your business does, what it is, and then we'll go right into it.
Yeah. So my wife, Stephanie, and I are partners in North and Maine Repurposing and Junk Removal. We are a startup. We've been around for 6 months and really cranking out revenue the last 4 months. We have a strong focus on repurposing, reusing, recycling stuff. So a lot of what we're doing is picking up good usable items and processing them and donating them to local charities. We're recycling cardboard, plastic, metal. We are taking things to the landfill as kind of a last resort. We've also been engaged in some other things like some light demolition, repurposing buildings, tearing down and recycling, repurposing a bunch of material from buildings like sheds and garages. And some moving as well. So kind of a variety.
Awesome. So you've got so I like to get right to it to see how we can best help your business and answer some questions. So let's fire away. What's on your forefront of your mind right now when it comes to what you would like some help with when it comes to building North and Maine even larger?
Yeah. So we've through the help of Fiture Marketing and through meta ads and so forth, we've been able to grow our revenue that accounts for about 2/3 of our revenue right now, outside of our
Awesome.
personal network and other sources. And we've seen a trend where we've picked up a number of small projects where we're just going to pick up one item, two items. We really want to focus our strategy on landing bigger jobs, bigger ticket
Okay.
items that take more time, effort, skill, and obviously pay more. So we've been hovering, these smaller jobs that are $160 or $250 to go out and pick up a couple items. Where we also have jobs where we multiple thousands depending on the scale of the
Yep.
job, and we want to focus on those clients who are really looking for a garage clean out and an estate clean out, a whole house clean out, property managers that are looking to swap out apartments, empty out an apartment, that kind of thing.
Got it. So the main goal is you want to drive more revenue and a higher order value, essentially, with bigger projects. And the first thing I'm going to say is, AJ, what would your advice be to do that? I know my answer. I'd like to hear yours. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so the first thing that I think would be a good idea for us to take a look at is making sure that we have ads that are specifically calling out those bigger jobs. So what I mean by that is getting real specific. Hey, do you need to clean out your garage? Hey, do you need to, do XYZ? So that way we can really start honing in with the messaging with what it is that people need, the service that they need. So if we were to do that, what would be like those top, 3 messages that you would put out there?
What do you think?
Well, our focus is on the repurposing and recycling aspect, and that seems to be the thing that's appealing to people the most. But
Okay.
another thing that we've actually done that's been really rewarding for us, but also really, we've been able to help some people in our community, is helping seniors who are transitioning from a large home into a much smaller home. And we'd love to be able to do more of that because it's great to actually be able to help, and then have a job that's larger so that, we're focusing more of our efforts in one place rather than a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, so that the senior transition piece we really looked at as far as marketing to the senior community or their caregivers or the children that are helping their parents transition into like assisted living or into just downsizing from a house to a condo. Those types of scenarios are great. Garage cleanouts and organization are fantastic. We've actually done a number of several estate projects where like the unfortunately, in one case, a younger person has passed away, and his parents are taking care of his home and the space and preparing it to sell. So we want to kind of find those people that are in I don't know, probate, or that they're the executors of an estate that need to
Sure.
clean out a space because it's emotionally difficult for them sometimes. It's been easier for them to come through and just kind of get the things that are valuable and important to them and be like, the rest of this stuff, just make sure it finds a
Yeah.
grave.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So
we have some unique experience with that. Just that we have our son passed away. We've had to
yeah,
liquidate, those kinds of assets, and so yeah, that's something we feel like we can bring to to that space of knowing what that feels like as a person to have to go through those things
sure.
and sort them.
I, I would say so, Stephanie. I think and I don't know how comfortable. I've talked to Tyler about this and in that situation. I would say if you're comfortable, if you made some ads that shared your story about how you personally went through it, I think that'd be very powerful for a lot of these audiences of people that you're going after, for them to connect with you and to say like, oh, there's a big purpose behind this. They're not just talking; they've lived it. They know how I feel. They know what the feeling is of having to get rid of things, right? Because there's like an emotional attachment
Yeah.
to all the stuff that we have,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that would be very powerful if we had not only the ad creatives of you targeting and saying who you want to work with, but also a storytelling side. I think would be very powerful. I would be very surprised if that ad did not do extremely well. And if you're comfortable with conveying and communicating that on your ads, I think it could do really well to connect with the audience.
Cool. That's a great idea. We've talked about that story about transitioning like our elder parents into smaller
Yeah,
spaces and what that's been like. And I think both of those would be good. Um, you think just a selfie style video that tells the story,
yeah.
or um, cool.
Yeah, I think a selfie style, just keeping it real and raw would work. Just because it's going to help connect with the audience, right? In my opinion, especially you guys are a locally based business, the more personal feel that the audience can have, the better, right? The higher response, and so I think making just what I would do, list out all of the different segments of people that you would like to get in front of, and then make a video and or image for each one. Okay, so you're going to have a bunch of different ad creatives going, because the way the algorithm works, AJ knows this, is it each ad creative kind of feeds into its own pocket. So if you keep getting like the same kind, it's because that's how Facebook works, right? Because of the ad creative, it's going to keep finding more of the people that respond to that. So if you're like, I want to expand or get another segment, you can keep the current ads that you have going and just make more newer ads that you want to get other people to essentially notify Facebook, hey, start putting these ads in front of these other people too, because Facebook will only know who you want based on who you tell them you want, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. AJ, do you got anything else to add to that?
Yeah, what I would say is let's use like the caregiver or the elder parent example. Well, you said that sometimes it's the actual parent, right, that needs the help. Sometimes it's a caregiver or it's a kid, right? So what you can do is have ads addressing each one of those. So saying, hey, are you a senior and you're looking to downsize your home and you don't really have anybody that can help you or whatnot? We can do X, Y, and Z. So that would be one ad. A second ad would be, hey, do you take care of someone that's a senior, or are your parents seniors, et cetera? So what you do is you segment the messaging to match each of the audiences, and
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help you to get more defined results, like people coming back to you through each stage of the funnel. So the more specific you are, the more people we're going to be able to actually reach.
That makes sense. And I appreciate explaining that having more videos and more ads out there doesn't dilute our effectiveness. It just broadens our audience, right?
Correct. Yep. And that's and the goal basically is, when you look at the location we're in, right? The Davis County, Utah area. Like, there's so many segments of people that live here, right? And so because of that, you want to speak to each one if you want to be able to capture more and more of the market. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how you can expand without automatically expanding your budget, right? You can actually expand reaching more people just by having more ads in there so that the ads can do the work of finding those people.
Yeah.
And the other thing that'll happen too is like you talk about repurposing and recycling. Sometimes there's like a specific niche within a bigger category. Let's say recycling. There might be a specific group of people that need recycling or want recycling type of help. And so if you get real finite in your messaging, and we're not saying like thousands of ads, but maybe like, 15, 20 different types, you might find something that hits like a really segmented audience. And now all of a sudden you're getting a ton of these jobs over and over again because you found the sub niche within the category.
Got it. Yeah, that's great.
We've run into that with our own ads, right?
Yeah.
Where we're a marketing agency, we're promoting to different types of business owners, and then without fail there'll be a segment that responds really, really highly to what we do and how we do it. And it's usually someone you would never imagine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not someone you think like, oh, for sure that group is going to like me. They just end up, you'll be surprised, but you'll go, hey, all these people seem to love me. So why not? Let's keep servicing them. They're already liking what we're doing. And so
Yeah,
I think that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, AJ, but I think that's kind of what you're saying is,
that's great.
there could be segments of people that might, you have no idea that ultra responders, basically.
Exactly. And unless you put out that messaging directly to them, because they might not respond to the general ad, they might need to know that it's specifically for them. So you want to just segment down with the service and then
Yeah.
the who is going to be buying the service.
I love that. I love that. And I should say that I've got a couple jobs to go out on in a few minutes here. So I'd love to, if there's any other like specific things that you think we ought to throw at the strategy, or if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Steph. Or...
Yeah, I did have one, and that was that as part of our pickups, we often get a lot of really cool like old antique furniture. And
Sure.
there's an artist that I know in this area who paints it, does all these things. She has a really, really great job, and she has a great following. We've been considering whether or not we might want to partner with some people on stuff like that.
Yeah,
Is that
yes.
something that we can do to?
As you can see, both of our heads are nodding yes, because that is, if you want to scale even faster and more efficiently, partner up with as many people that are in alignment with your brand and start making ads and content with them too. Because then what'll happen is you're going to start getting reach, like part of their audience is going to say, oh, you work with them? And then now you're able to start leveraging other businesses' trust and have it be connected with you, right? And vice versa. So it actually expands your opportunity to get more referrals, more upsell business, different types of business that you might not be thinking about now. Opportunities will just suddenly start to show up. They're like, oh wow, we never thought of that. But that's an angle we can go. So my answer is 100%. You should
Okay.
be doing that.
Okay.
One thing I'll add to that too. So you guys have a pretty cool business because you never know what you're walking into essentially. Like you might go in and they have some really cool antique stuff or, like a different vibe or whatnot. So I don't know if you're comfortable with this or if you would ever consider it, but doing some documenting might be cool. Like, hey guys, we're going to clean out, a garage today. Let's see what we find. When you go and you kind of show some of it, oh, this is really cool. What'll happen is people in the community will start to like, oh, those guys do cool stuff. And you might get referrals or other business just by putting out content, documenting what you're going to do anyway as part of running
Yeah.
the business. So something to consider.
I like
Okay.
that. We've been documenting some before and after and taking some video when we're out there on jobs. And Greg can attest to this. Like we're in a couple of business mastermind groups and things we go to
Yep.
together, and I like to do story time, and I'll tell stories about some
Yeah.
of the latest things that I found or seen or done, and it always kind of draws people in, and they're like, "I'd love to hear these stories," and so I'd love to do more of that. So you're thinking like create that content, put it on YouTube and other places, or put that into ads, some stories into ads.
I would even put it in the ads because you're
Both.
marketing to a local, yeah, both. Yeah, so both because you're marketing to a local community So what'll happen is you'll just start getting this effect of people listening and watching to your stories. And then as soon as someone needs recycling or whatnot, you're the first people they think about because they now have a perceived relationship with you.
Awesome.
That sounds awesome. That's great.
So I guess it sounds like you probably got a jet, Tyler, and I think we would love to schedule another time if you like to do in the same format, and we can go more in depth on some more ways that we can help grow your business and come up with ideas. And hopefully, you found today valuable as far as what we're sharing. But I just want to say this before we hop off, Tyler. I'm extremely proud of what you've done and the risks that you have taken, and I think to watch from where you started to where you're at now, you got a fan over here, brother. Fiture Marketing is behind you, and we hope we can help you in any way we can.
Yeah, you've helped a ton, and we look forward to growing with you.
So, with that being said, thanks guys for hopping in. Thanks for the viewers watching this, and stay tuned for the next episode. See you guys.